There you go. There's a way to do this. Rituals are important, especially when you're turning towards hell realms. There are hell realms on this earth, and I think we all know or taste or have had a taste of the hell realms of our own states of mind. And then, of course, how we project it out, and the world looks small and hellish through our own suffering. I'm going to read to you from Faces of Compassion, Taigen Dan Layton's classic Bodhisattva archetypes in their modern expression. About Hakuin. Many stories and parables in Buddhist folklore describe the different realms, the 6 realms, both as actual destinies we should fear and as psychological states that are always available to us. The great 17th century Japanese Rinzai Zen master Hakuin was once approached by a samurai warrior who asked Hakuin to explain heaven and hell to him. Hakuin looked up the samurai and said disdainfully, "How could you stupid, oafish ignoramus, how could stupid, ignoramus, oafish people like you possibly understand such things?" The samurai started to draw his sword, and Hakuin chided, "So you have a sword. It's probably as dull as your head." In a rage, the proud warrior pulled out his sword, intending to cut off Hakuin's head. Hakuin stated calmly, "This is the gateway to hell." The startled samurai stopped, and with appreciation for Hakuin's cool demeanor, sheathed his sword. "This is the gateway to heaven," said Hakuin softly. I'm going to read you verse 8 from Tokme Zongpu's 37 Practices of a Bodhisattva, Reflections on Silver River. A commentary and translation by Ken MacLeod. Verse 8. The suffering in the lower realms is extremely hard to endure. The sage says it is the result of destructive actions. For that reason, even if your life is at risk, don't engage in destructive actions. This is the practice of the Bodhisattva. Part of Ken MacLeod's commentary. The lower realms, the hell realms, hungry ghost, are the worlds projected by greed, anger, and survival. The worlds of our most basic instincts. The worlds where our only options, we believe, are to fight or flee, to eat or be eaten, to kill or die. When you fall into any of these realms, you do not know what you are doing, let alone what you are feeling or experiencing. Stories, justifications, and rationalizations take you over. You do not notice even vivid physical and emotional sensations. You do not feel the pain you are in. Yet, through your actions, through your words, we visit that pain on others. Every thought, word, and deed sets in motion a process that shapes the way we experience life. Whatever you put into the world comes back to you one way or another. When you lose your temper or out of greed and desperation, you take more than your share, you cause pain for others and set in motion the ruination of your life and others. It is not enough to say you will be good or that you will be not behave badly. Notice how old you feel when you say, I'll be good. I'll be good. This is a child's approach to life. It is based on old patterns of seeking attention and love and avoiding punishment. Forget all about being good or bad. Just bring attention to your life. Experience what is happening in you. Know what you are doing and how it affects others. Some destructive behaviors are so deeply conditioned that you cannot imagine doing anything different. If you do something different, it can sometimes feel to the self like you are dying, but it is dying to the world of the emotional reaction. You have a choice. What do you choose in each moment? The attitudes and psychology of the hell realms. This is descriptive words. Aggression. Claustrophobia. It's an interesting, feels closed in. Intense identification with aggression, aversion, and fear. Buddha said hell is extreme physical and emotional suffering without hope of relief. So there's a kind of, there's a hopelessness, loss of all perspective. Can't see change as a possibility. It's entered. One of the ways it's entered is through indulging anger. So in the Kitsanagarbha Jizo Sutra, it's a little sutra. I don't know that I've ever shared the Jizo Sutra before. Oh my goodness. You want to know about hell realms? Because Jizo, many of you know Jizo, little Bodhisattva Jizo. Here's little Bodhisattva Jizo. Maybe I'll do a spotlight for a moment. Little Jizo. This little shell was from a vet retreat, which was always full of lots of love and trauma. Someone gave me this little shell, and underneath there's a little name word thing that says joy. Amazing thing is that Jizo's favorite, Jizo in the Wheel of Life, all those little Buddhas that are in each realm, they are often identified as Jizo Bodhisattva. But Jizo most likes the hell realms. It's like, I can go and help. And amazing that Jizo goes with optimism and joy and kindness, love and care, little beings. Just, oh, how can I respond and help take care of what's in front of me? How can I help take care of hell realms in our minds and in the world? And here's another little Jizo, because we know Susan Spencer in our Sangha has helped so many of us make Jizos. And she's so creative, these little pea pods. Jizo is not limited as some kind of archetype that is strict or other than us. Jizo, traditionally, the archetype is of just a simple little monk walking in the world. Just you and me. So in the Jizo Sutra, Jizo speaks knowingly of 18 great hells, 500 secondary hells, another 100,000 hells, each with a distinct name and all arranged inside a ring of mountains that are a lot like Dante's Inferno. It describes the suffering in these hell realms. And the thing is that once you're caught in a hell realm, you keep experiencing it because you keep doing the same thing over and over again. So you can't get out. I thought I'd just share with you some of the names of the hell realms. I can imagine that you could imagine some of your own. Yell, shout hell, strip tough hell, excretion hell, fire horse hell, fire hawk hell, scorch hand hell, inverted thorn hell, fire wolf hell, peck eyes hell, scorch feet hell. Oh, here's a good one. Much hate hell. Excuse me, my little phone's going off. There it is. I'm going to stop it. So Jizo studies these hell realms, just as we can study the hell realms of our own minds and hearts for ourselves and for all beings. Because the hell realms don't exist outside of our own actions, and it's how we free ourselves and all beings. So wake up, pay attention. Oh, this hurts. Oh my goodness, I know this place of ancient twisted karma. Let it touch you. It's cause and effect. Study the precepts. Jizo is called, one of the things that Jizo is called is the patron of lost causes. My husband told me because he grew up as a Catholic, and Judy probably knows that there's a patron saint of lost causes, I think, in the Catholic faith. Turn off. Yeah, there we go. So the patron saint of, there are no lost causes. You are not a lost cause. Anybody you see, those homeless people on the streets. Hell realms of war zones, famine, all those places where we get caught and say, oh, I'm really sorry, but I don't know what to do. You're caught in that hell realm over there. There are no lost causes. Jizo is fearless. Jizo has a vow. That is Jizo's fearlessness. But just to remember, hold up your right hand in the fearless mantra. Just feel it. Oh, you all look like fearless bodhisattvas. You get scared, take a breath, feel your feet. Hold up your hand if you want, or feel it in your heart. Nobody ever said being a human being was going to be easy. But on the other hand, nobody ever told me it's as joyful and beautiful as I experience it to be. So no lost causes. So a little bit more about Jizo. Jizo originated in India and then spread all over Asia, Southeast Asia. Came to us through Japan, where, and as the root of our lineage, where there are little Jizos all over the crossroads in transitional spaces, and often they're in sixes, which are the 6 realms, because there's a Jizo in each of the 6 realms. And it also represents the 6 paramitas, because that is the teaching of the bodhisattvas: generosity, precepts, ethical behavior, patience, enthusiastic effort, no lost causes, meditation, stop, feel, breathe, let go, and understanding, wisdom and compassion that arises. So Buddha, Bodhisattva Jizo, Kitsana, is known as Kitsanagarbha or earth womb. Jizo is of the earth, is of the 6 realms. Some of the bodhisattvas more abide in the clouds. They're more the very positive emanations of the God realms. But Jizo's life is on the earth. Us, here. Earth womb or earth storehouse in Japan. Some scholars think that Jizo was first the Vedic goddess Prithi of the earth. So the goddesses are with us. Here's a couple of quotes I kind of liked. The literal translation of the Bodhisattva's Sanskrit name is Earth Store. The name in one sense indicates that any undesirable or troublesome thoughts stored or hidden in our mind or heart may be uncovered and released with the help of Kitsanagarbha's divine power, therefore freeing us and all people from negative influences. The less literal translation, Earth Treasure, expresses the many marvelous aspects of the earth and our mysterious connection with it. Earth Treasure Bodhisattva has a deep relationship with beings of the earth, humans, and especially with those below it, hungry ghosts and hell beings, because they are the most difficult to raise into fortunate conditions due to our previous and unwholesome actions. But Kitsanagarbha, Buddha, Jizo, us, says, if I do not go into hell realms to help them, who else will? If I do not go into hell realms to help them, who else will? No matter what the crime, no matter how bad. We know stories of Buddha's disciples. Some of Buddha's disciples were killers. People who tried to kill Buddha. No lost causes. So the qualities of Jizo are often described as, this is the transformative aspect of any of the 6 realms, but particularly in going into the hell realms, is a sweet innocence. If you think all kinds of conditioned thoughts about hell realms and what could happen and how bad it is and all the fear and all the delusion, and Jizo just starts over moment by moment. There's a beginner's mind to it. There's a sense of play, playfulness. If you get all serious about this, we're all just going to get more and more tied up in fear. Jizo has a kind of sense of play and joy in entering the world and whatever she finds. There's kindness, there's love, there's a fierce protection and stability and a resolve. I will free all beings. It's said that Jizo has many division bodies that become one body as storehouse bodhisattva. Let me see, I marked something on a page here. Let me see what I marked. If I find the book that I marked it in, here it is. No, I guess I want to read to you out of this one. So the division bodies. We are each part of Jizo's body. We're Jizo's division body. And are completely whole as Jizo Bodhisattva. says in the sutras, bodhisattvas fear creating causes, whereas sentient beings fear taking effects. If you plant good causes, you will realize good effects. Buddhas and sentient beings have the same mind nature. However, because sentient beings are deluded by ignorance, their minds are non-enlightened. Our ignorance gives rise to thoughts and desires, which then in turn give rise to greed, hate, and stupidity, all of which in turn give rise to harmful actions. Thus, sentient beings are endlessly reborn into the 6 conditions of the wheel of life because of the innumerable causes and conditions that are tightly intertwined and woven together. Bodhisattva Kitsanagarbha gives us relief in many ways, delivering sentient beings from the conditions that cause ceaseless birth and death and the suffering that comes with it. Jesus says, "For such beings, each different from the others, I have divided myself into many bodies in order to deliver and liberate them all. I can manifest myself in the form of a man or a woman, a deva, a naga, a god, a ghost, a trove, a river, a plain, a stream, a pond, a stream or a well for the benefit of all sentient beings, so that they may all be delivered and liberated." Goes on, sometimes I deliver myself as a devotee, a king, a minister. Don't be cynical about government. Don't be stupid. But it says right here, there are good people there. You just have to look deeply. An official, a monk, a nun. Look, there are Jizo division bodies everywhere. You never know what's going to appear in front of you with exactly the right help that's needed. And you may be that exact help. Most fundamentally, what Jizo Bodhisattva and all Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas hope and for each one of us and for the world is that we uncover and awaken and embody our most fundamental nature of basic goodness, compassion, of wisdom. And I would like to strongly suggest that in my experience, the willingness to feel and enter grief and loss is an important portal as we human beings wake up to become true human beings. That when we experience impermanence and loss, don't turn away. It tenderizes us. It opens us to the paramita of vulnerability. We can more clearly and want to see the different realms and how they're manifesting in our own heart and mind. We can feel and be tenderized by what needs to be felt, and more we become responsive, not as wanting to be good, or did I get it right, or good versus bad, but just as a wholehearted and tender response to the suffering of the world. That isn't out there, it's ours. And it's not solid, and there are no lost causes. We just keep sitting down and standing up forever, together. And more there is joy. I've said, and probably maybe you've heard me say, one of my descriptives of how I often feel these days is happy, sad. Sad, happy. They're so close. I'm so happy I can feel, and I'm so sad, often what I'm feeling. when I can enter with tenderness, then I can also feel the morning light, the dewdrops, and the incredible preciousness of each moment and each life. So I'm going to suggest right now that we're going to do a guided meditation. I'm going to do a guided meditation with you. And everyone has their pen and paper nearby. I wrote, this is a little bit different, I rewrote it for us, but I wrote this there was a Soto Zen Buddhist Association meeting, a conference, and they asked Sarah Emerson and I to do a Jizo grief ritual. We only had a short amount of time. Many of you know that we offer grief ceremonies, Jizo ceremonies at Green Gulch and beyond, and offer Jizo practice groups at online at San Francisco Zen Center. There's another one starting next week. But this one was for Zen priests. And sometimes I think Zen priests can get so formal in their priestiness, they're not so willing to enter tender realms. I didn't know, but I was just so happy that everyone, each in their own way, entered what needed to be felt. So we're going to do a guided meditation, and at the end of it, I'll explain to you what I want you to do with your paper and pencil. So, settling now. In this very body. Earth body. Buddha's skin, flesh, bones, and marrow body. Body of matter. Earth womb. Infinite space, sun, moon, starlight body. Fearless bodhisattva, compassion, Jizo body. Breath body, breathing and being breathed. Vast, beyond knowing. Arriving now, fully arriving. Now. It is an incalculable gift to have and to receive a human life. A precious and fleeting gift. Settling now into the gravity of our shared condition, the precariousness, the preciousness and fragility of this birth-death life, of the cycling in the 6 realms. Beginnings and endings, love and loss, comings and goings, no comings, no goings. Always moving, always changing. The timeless turnings of all we love and hold dear. ungraspable, incomprehensible mystery. Acknowledging that to give ourselves to life and to love is also just as surely to give ourselves to loss and to grief. The loss of a child, children should never be, and is. The loss of beloved parent, grandparent, partner, sibling, friend, neighbor, associate. The piercing systemic, environmental, and global losses of the time in which we live. To not turn away is to fully enter the path of awakening. God realm. Angry, jealous God realm. Human realm, animal realm. Hungry ghost realm, hell realm. Don't turn away. This is the path of becoming a fully embodied, true human being, a bodhisattva. Letting go over and over again of any vision or dream of the world as we thought it could be or should be. The only way through is through. Meet each moment. Opening into kindness and compassion and unconditional love for this self, this very self, and the other, and for all beings. All turning and being turned in this great wheel of life. With Jizo Bodhisattva, Earthworm Womb Bodhisattva, Earth Treasure Bodhisattva as our most intimate friend. We are never alone. And it is up to each one of us. So now please reflect on these last years, this time we have been living through. What has changed for you? In you? Where are you in this life and this time? Who are you now? Reflect on those you love. Where are they? How are they? Reflect on your losses. And reflect now on your community. Sangha, society, the world, the earth, all beings. What is your relationship? And then when you're ready, begin to write on one side of the paper your losses, personal, collective. And on the other side, write your prayers, your wishes for yourself, for particular beings, for all beings. So losses on one side, prayers or well wishes on the other. You'll have about 5 minutes or so.